Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are joining us from. Welcome to Medlink Students. Welcome to the October installment of our webinar. It's been a while. We're so thrilled that you could join us tonight. We have so much to discuss. We will be exploring the path ahead and provide you all with all the essential insights to help you navigate the world of medicine and dentistry. Now, first and foremost, I want to say congratulations on considering such a noble and rewarding career. Because, medicine and dentistry, these are fields that combine science, compassion, and a genuine desire to help others. And so throughout the webinar, we will shed some light on the key aspects of your journey. And the whole aim of this is to inspire and equip you guys with the knowledge to really that you need to be starting on this exciting journey. Now, no matter where you stand in your educational journey, whether you are still considering your options, or actively looking to secure a place, we're still here to guide you through it. And we believe that everyone deserves the opportunity to pursue their dreams of becoming doctors and dentists. We'll do everything we can to help you achieve this. Now, let me first introduce myself. I'm Edmund. I'm going to be your host for tonight. I'm one of the academic advisors here for Medlink Students. Now, my role over the last few years, has been guiding and supporting students throughout the medical and dental journey. Now, I've had the privilege of helping thousands of students begin their path of becoming doctors and dentists, and it's such a great feeling when you hear that, when they graduate. Some of them back in the UK, some of them have gone to their home countries. Now, tonight, we're also joined by my colleague, Tom, who's one of the senior academic advisors here. Now, his expertise has guided countless of students to find their right path abroad as well. He'll be sharing his valuable insights with you later on the webinar. Now, we're also joined by Dana, who's another senior academic advisor, who's here, and she will be going through all the key aspects and the benefits of studying abroad. Now, we're also honored to be joined by some of our representatives from one of our prestigious universities that we partner with. Now, tonight you'll hear from Professor Iya, who's the Vice Rector of TMA. We're also joined by Mr. Luca, who's one of the managing partners of one of our schools in Malta. Really excited to be partnering with them. Now, their insights will be quite invaluable as you will consider your options. We also have other speakers as well from other schools that we're partnered with as well. We're also joined by our courageous students who are here to share their personal experiences with you, and these students are from places like Poland, Georgia, and they will provide you with a glimpse into what it's really like to study abroad, the challenges that they've faced, and the triumphs that they've achieved as well. So tonight, we're going to cover some important topics like who we are, what it's really like to study in Europe, and how it benefits you. We'll go over the tuition fees and the living costs. We'll also touch on the current state of the medical and dental fields in the UK and why it's becoming increasingly tough to get in. We will also talk about the great opportunities that are still available for you for the coming winter intakes as well. We'll talk about how we can actually help you navigate this journey. And finally, you get to ask, we'll go through the live Q&A where you can get to ask us anything at all. Now that you have a sense of what we're going to go through, I'd like to bring in Tom to take us through who we are as an organization and how we've been helping thousands of students just like you for many years. Tom?
Hi everyone, good evening. I hope you're looking forward to a very packed in webinar. We've got loads of different experiences to share with you. But one question we always get asked as advisors is, who exactly are you? Who is Medlink Students? So we are an organization run by a team of doctors and dentists, and not just any doctors and dentists, but these were in fact individuals that were just like you at one point. They were just after A-levels, or maybe they were still studying A-levels, or some of them had even done a degree. They all had one thing in common. They wanted to study medicine or dentistry, but they were struggling to get into the UK. And so what did they do from here? They decided to be very courageous themselves and try to study abroad. And when they went to do this, this is over 12 years ago now, they found it a very difficult process. There was no organization out there to help them and assist them in things like the legalizing of their documents, translating the documents, getting the university approval, preparing for tests. And then once they were accepted, they then had to try and figure out all the visa processes by themselves, and then of course move over to these countries. Most of them had never been away from their parents before, so this was a big step. A lot of them unfortunately failed in this, and they weren't able to get in, and maybe they had to do it again the next year. But for the ones that were successful, they decided there had to be an organization out there that was built around the students to help and support them in going to pursue their dreams. And this is where we are today, 12 years later, run by a great team of dedicated doctors and dentists who are there to help you to go and study abroad. And essentially that is who we are as an organization. Now we consist of a few different parts. So we've of course got the doctors and dentists. We also have advisors like myself and my colleague Edmund. We're here to give you free advice to help you decide which university out of all of the different amazing medical and dental schools available, which is right for you. Because a good school for one person can be completely different to a good school for someone else. We want to look at your priorities and try to help you as an individual. From there, we then have admissions experts. Now, these are the guys that are going to build you an incredible application that's going to allow you to have the best possible chance of gaining admission into your dream school abroad. From there, of course, we have the on-ground support. So these are the guys that are going to help you when you get over to the country. Can seem like a very daunting experience and you need support at that point. So we have a team there to help. Okay, back to you, Edmund.
Thank you so much, Tom. I think we're getting quite a lot of questions coming through. If you've just joined us, welcome. We can't wait for you to hear all the amazing things, and we have so much to talk about. Keep sending the questions through. Remember, there's no such thing as a silly one. Just ask them anyway. We are here to help. Of course, we will have the chance to go through some of the questions. Now, we've gone through, who we are and what our organization consists of. Now, to tell you a bit more about the compelling reasons why studying medicine or dentistry abroad could be the best, I'd like to bring in my colleague Dana, who will talk to you about this. Dana?
Good evening. Well, as Edmund said, we're having a lot of questions come in. It's so exciting to see all of you, our future passionate doctors, joining us today. And I know most of you now are looking into your options of achieving your dream, studying medicine or dentistry abroad. And probably most of you are mentioning to their parents that Europe is a great option. So I'm here to tell you, based on my previous experience, speaking to so many students, their feedback and what they like most about Europe, the advantages of going to Europe. One of the advantages, as you can see in front of you on the screen here, is affordable tuition fees. Europe is known to be a very affordable place, whether to live there or to study. We have universities that have very reasonable fees, talking about 5,000 US dollars or pounds or euros, up to 20,000, 25,000. So whatever your budget is, you'll be able to go to Europe and study at a top university. In addition to the quality of education, the universities are known to be very well established there and have very well established facilities that we're going to see later on in the presentation when we talk about universities. Plus the international environment. Students get to experience a very nice atmosphere there, meeting people from many different areas in the world, from different cultures, different backgrounds. In addition to the, of course, flexible admissions, this is one of the main things. Many times we have students that come to us and they say, I didn't get A's, I don't have biology. So whatever you have in your high school, whatever you've achieved, you can come to us and we can help you find a university where you meet the requirements. And sometimes you have to sit an exam, sometimes an interview that we also help you prepare for, and you can join the school. And the courses are known to be fully taught in English. So you don't have to know a language to go to a different country. When you go there, you learn while you live there. The courses are fully taught in English and the degree is globally recognized. Wherever you study and you want to work after you graduate, you can go hit the ground running after graduation because the degree is worldwide recognized. And this is what we do here as Medlink students. We handpick the best universities that have the best recognitions and the worldwide recognitions. The variety. A very good question students usually ask me, how many universities can I apply to Europe? The best thing about Europe is you can apply to as many universities as you want. There's no limit. So we can go through options together and we can see which options. Sometimes we have students that are interested in one university, sometimes two. So if you're interested in 2 universities or 3, that's not a problem. Plus, of course, the modern facilities. The universities are known to be very well equipped with their labs, simulation rooms, the campuses, they have sports clubs. We'll be also going briefly into these when we go through the universities. But summarizing it here, there's a lot of advantages going abroad. So don't hesitate. If you're looking into this, then continue this webinar and you're going to see students coming here to tell you about their experience because they've been in your position before.
Thank you so much, Dana. There are so many reasons to go abroad. Of course, we know it's a huge step, but a lot of us students, and we spend years helping students go and pursue this. And so many benefits, and we can talk about this all night. Now, to move on from here, applying in the UK has become increasingly competitive. Every year, I speak to very much deserving students who have the grades and they have the UCAT scores, and they still can't get in. So to share with you some really shocking data, I'd like to invite Tom, who can share a bit more on this. Tom?
Yeah, so of course, a direct result of things getting tougher and tougher in the UK, it doesn't mean there are less and less people wanting to become doctors. In fact, I would say it's more and more every single year that we're seeing. And so more and more people in turn are going to study abroad. And this graph shows that really well. So this is the total number of British nationals joining the register with a non-UK primary medical qualification. And what does that mean? That means students just like yourself who took the leap 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago now, who are coming back to register with the General Medical Council every single year. I think the best thing to take from this is that you're not alone. Even as you can see, back in 2023, there were almost 1,000 doctors who came back to the UK to register after getting their degree abroad. And if you look back 6 years from then, in 2017, there weren't even as many people going and studying abroad as there is now. There could now easily be 2, 3, or 4 times that number of people from the UK going to study abroad every single year for medicine and dentistry. And so you're not going to be by yourself. There's nothing to worry about. There are huge numbers of people doing it. And it is a very, very common way for someone to register with the General Medical Council in the UK.
Thank you so much, Tom. Staggering stats, right? When I talk to students who want to study in the UK, it's very sad to hear that they've got the right background, they just can't get in. Now, another thing that we get asked is, how many years do I have to study abroad, especially when you're going through the undergraduate? So let's take a closer look at how the medical education really works abroad. So in many European countries, the medical schools there, of course, the ones that we work with are taught in English, but you graduate there as a doctor of medicine because they take 6 years to complete. And they're divided into 2 parts. Now, you've got the first 3 years, which is usually the classroom learning, or we call the preclinical, where you focus on theory, so medical theories, and then practical skills. The practical skills are where you get to learn about how to inject, how to measure blood pressure, how to really interact, bedside etiquette, these great skills. And the final 3 years focuses on the specialties. So from pediatrics to surgery, all of the fun stuff. And that's where you get to really understand which specialty you want to go into. And you really practice under supervision of the doctors who are there. Now, of course, these schools are heavily vetted by us. We spend years looking into the schools, the curriculums, what they do, and how they teach, and the quality of education. These are programs that are recognized, not just in Europe, but also in many other countries. Now, we can advise you on which countries that you can go to once you decide where you'd like to go and study. For example, if you want to go to the US, we can advise you on the process, coming back to the UK, this is something we can also assist you with. Now, when we look at the dental side of things, for those of you who are here interested in that, it follows a similar path to medicine. So with dentistry, you can either graduate as a Doctor of Dental Surgery, which is the DDS degree. And for medicine, it's the DMD, which stands for Doctor of Dental Medicine. Exactly the same, just depending on which country you're in. Now, dentistry can typically take 5 to 6 years to complete. And the first part of it, which is usually the first half, is the theoretical side, which focuses on the foundations of dental knowledge. So you work in the early stages, you work a lot of phantom heads. And the second part involves the clinical experience, where you'll be working directly with patients under supervision. So you get to learn about all the specialties. Now, of course, these courses are taught in English. And so we've also looked at a lot of these schools and their recognition and where you can practice. A lot of these European schools allow you to practice in many countries. Depending on where you plan on going to, we can tell you what the processes might be, and then you can make an informed decision for you. Now, what happens if you've done your high school, you've decided, I might take a bachelor's degree and see where I go? If you already have a science-related degree, then the graduate entry program would be an option for you, which basically allows you to take a condensed route into becoming a doctor or dentist. So with the graduate entry medicine option, we have options, of course, that we can talk to you about. You can always inquire with us, whether it's going to be in Europe or whether it's going to be outside Europe. We can talk about options that are compressed, that allows you to come back to the UK. Now, of course, these are MD programs, so Doctor of Medicine. And for the dental graduate program, we have an option that also allows you to come back and practice. Now, this allows you to essentially transfer what you studied in your degree into the program. So it gets reduced down from 6 or to 5 to 4, essentially. Now, of course, these programs offer a very excellent quality of education, which you can come back and become a confident dentist or a doctor. And they follow the same pathway as what the undergraduate would be, meaning you can still have the hands-on experience during the program. Now, another option or service that we have is the transfer. Now, sometimes in life, things change, plans change, whether it's due to financial reasons, family issues, academic challenges. This can happen. Some students may need to just transfer to another university. Now, it can be quite complex, but we've worked with a lot of students who have successfully transferred, and we can ensure that we can get you into a different university from where you are. And that's discussing what options, what budgets you have, and seeing where we can send you. Now, before we jump into the next topic, I know a lot of students ask us, if I study at a school where the tuition fees are high, does that mean I get a better quality? I'd like to invite my colleague Dana, who would dive into a lot of this and discuss the living costs, the tuition fees, and how it really differs across Europe. Dana?
Thank you, Edmund. And that's a very good point you brought up, is the common question I usually also get when I speak to students is, does it mean if we study in a country that has higher fees, am I going to get better quality of education? The answer here is no. If you study at a university, the best thing you need to look at, or the best way to evaluate it, is based on the quality of education. And this is how we choose universities. The tuition fees are more related to the economical situation of the country that the university is located in. So we basically look at the geographical location, but it's not related to the quality of education. We can have a top university with very good recognition for very affordable fees, much lower than another university. So good point you brought up. Thanks for bringing this up, Edmund. I know a lot of you are wondering about this. Just to reassure you, whatever your budget is, you can study at one of the best universities, whether you pay 4,000 euros or 25,000 euros, it's the same. As you can see here on the chart, we have universities that range between 4,100 euros And it can go up to 29,800 euros a year for tuition fees. And you can see on the opposite side, for each country, the living expenses. And this is how it relates to the economical situation too. So don't worry, if your dream is to become a doctor and you're looking for an option abroad to study medicine, and I know finances can be one of the main concerns that a lot of students have and a lot of you are thinking about now before you go speak to your parents. Here you can see a chart and you can have a brief idea, and whatever your budget is, just get on a call with us. We'll look at your qualifications, we'll talk about your budget, we'll talk about the criteria that is important for you when looking into universities, and we will help you choose the best university for you, the best fit. And I'm going to ask Edmund to tell us a little bit more about the best universities that we've had from students' choices. Edmund?
Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Dana. All right. So every single year we go through this where we see the top picks in terms of the populous universities amongst all our students and where they're more drawn to. Now, some of these places include Georgia, we've got Serbia, we've got Latvia, Bulgaria, Poland. It changes quite often every year, but these ones tend to stay in the top ones. Now, of course, that's not to say we don't have other options or variety. We have loads. We have over 100 schools that you can choose from Hungary, from Czech Republic. There is a perfect university for everybody, right? And so we can help you. But these are the top picks from our students from 2023 to 2024, where year on year, we still get students that love these places and they still have an amazing time there. So we'll take a closer look at some of our top ones. For example, we'll take a look at Petroș-Șerdați, Tbilisi Medical Academy, TMA in short. This is a university in Georgia, in Tbilisi, the capital. Now, this university offers medicine, one of the prestigious universities that we've partnered with for many years and very excited to always work with. Now, they have an affordable option, which is, of course, 6,500 euros per year. Tuition fees can be paid semesterly. And one of the great things about the option is there isn't a need for an entrance exam, just an interview. And this is something that we prepare you for. For those of you who are worried about interviews, no need to worry. We prepare you for this. From the questions that they get asked, from personal statements that you have to write. You'll be guided in all of this. The great thing about the option here is that they have 2 intakes. So if you are still contemplating as to whether you wanted to go abroad, no need for you to worry. You have another option this March. They have an October intake and then a March intake. And we're already taking applications for this intake. So, of course, seats are subject to the number of available seats that are there. But if you want to join, we can still have a conversation and look into getting a place there for you. Now, to tell you a bit more about the school and why we partnered with them, we'll hear from Professor Ia, who's the vice rector of the school. We also have another student that will be sharing her experience with. But Professor Ia?
Yes, I'm here. Hello from sunny Georgia, though it's like 10 p.m. now, it's not sunny at all, but still, so I'm very happy to be present on this magnificent event. I used to be there like invited guest for several sessions, so I'm very grateful to Medlink for this. I would like to say a few words just to add. I know it's no time to discuss in details, but just to add a few words. Petroș-Șerdați Medical Academy is one of the first private schools in Georgia. We have a history of 35 years. It's not too much, but it's already enough to show the quality of education which we are providing. So first of all, why in Georgia? Already it was told well on the video that Georgia is one of the safest countries. It's in top 10 safest countries in Europe and in top 4 cities. So Tbilisi is quite safe city for all international students. And besides this, Georgia became a big hub of medical education for the last 20 years. We are having thousands of students from different parts of the world who are coming to Georgia with one goal to study medicine in Georgia. So Patricio Tazzo Medical Academy is one of the most famous and top picked by not only by international but among the Georgian students too. So we are in top 3 for last 5 years already by selection by Georgian students too. While after exams when they have to enter and choose medical universities, we are the leading university with genuine student-oriented approach. So we are providing all the environment which will help you to reveal all your capacity and direct you toward mastering your profession. We are adopting eagerly all the innovative methods of teaching, learning, like for example, case-based learning or team-based learning, simulated patients. We have virtual reality, of course. You have seen anatomic table while the video. And we are having very modern methods of assessment, like GOTS, for example, growth-oriented tests or objective structure examinations. These methods are widely used in North of Europe, like in UK too. So we can say that we can giving almost the same quality of education like you can get in the best universities worldwide, and including the North of Europe, which is known to be really very good and really very famous. So I would like to say about some particularities of education. So we're providing a very wide variety of international exchange programs. We are having many partners. I'm seeing here, even in your list, I would like to welcome Riga University, University of Lodz. They are Bialystok. They're all our partners. And every year we are providing and organizing the summer schools, exchange semesters for Georgian, for international students. And TMA, my university, is giving scholarship for this kind of one semester exchanges, or we are financing completely the summer exchange programs. For example, now dozens of students went to Turkey, and we paid for accommodation, for trip, for everything was paid by TMA, and we are providing scholarships too for the best students. We are providing scholarships. So this is everything just to tell you that we are very we are waiting for the best students. So I hope that Medlink will provide us very good students like they're always doing. Currently, there are students coming from 35 countries worldwide. We're getting students from all continents except Antarctica. So we're having from, of course, Europe, Asia, America, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, so from all parts of the world except Antarctica. We don't have yet penguins, but okay, everybody, we have all the other nationalities. But main thing, we are not dividing them according to nationalities. For us, they are all TMA students. They are all members of TMA family. And I would like to welcome in near future many of you to come to Georgia, to come at Tbilisi Medical Academy, and to feel what does it mean to be the member of the TMA family. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, I'll be very happy to answer them.
Oh, thank you so much, Professor. Yeah, these are one of the many reasons why we partnered with them. I think I've been told that one of the students that is joining hasn't been able to, but I think the question that everyone asks is, why should we join the university? Could you tell us the reasons why the students that are watching tonight should join TMA, the medical school?
Yes, the answer will be very simple. I think that if you are looking for quality education, you have to come to TMA. In Georgia, we are the university which will provide with the best quality of education, where you can be trained as a doctor, and your competencies will be enough later to pass all the local tests by GMC or USMLE or whatever. You can go and pass later and work at any country. And to be like competent doctor, self-confident doctor too, and with all the competencies which are required now for modern doctors. Everything else I think I've mentioned in my presentation too.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a nice continuation. Goodbye.
Yeah.
I'll be leaving you. Bye.
Just to follow on from what Professor E is saying, I think there are so many reasons to join TMA. And I think one of the reasons that we've actually heard from the students is the hands-on experience that they get from the early years of their studies. They get to have what they call medical sciences, where they get to actually interact with patients. They get to discuss cases with the doctors. it's truly a way for collaborative learning, and the students really enjoy that part of it, and the small class sizes as well. So many reasons, and most importantly, the degrees are recognized. We know they've had graduates who have gone to the US to practice, graduates who are working in the UK, and others that have gone to many other countries as well. There's so many other reasons. All right. So let's move on from TMA and let's stay in Georgia. So European University Tbilisi. This is another school that we partnered with. We've been very excited working with European University because they offer medicine, dentistry, medicine for 6 years, dentistry for 5. They also follow the same suit as TMA, where they have 2 intakes a year. Now, we have, of course, finished the intakes for this year. So if you are looking for the next intake, it's going to be in March, which we're working on. Now, the university had just recently opened their own dental clinic, which is very exciting for the school. Really excited to bring in facilities that they want to introduce, and other exciting things that they will be introducing in the clinic as well. The tuition fees are quite affordable as well. And the degree, of course, is one that can be used in many other countries like Australia, the UK, Canada, even in European countries as well. And we can advise on the pathway when you are finishing. Now, to tell you a bit about their experience, because it's not just about us telling you, it's about the students. We have a student, Amar, who's a medical student, just about to start his 2nd year, which is really exciting. He's going to tell us about his experience and what it's like being a student at European University. Amar, are you with us? Hello, Amar.
Hi, Edmund. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. How are you?
Perfect. I'm good. Thanks. How are you? It's nice to see you
Yeah,
again.
very well. Yes, nice to see you. Nice to have you join us. I know that when we last had you here, a lot of the students were asking, when we talked to them, they say, "Oh, one of the students, I think he was at the European University. You're a little famous, so it's good to have you back." Can you
Thank you.
tell us about your journey and what brought you to European University, please?
Okay, so what brought me to European University was initially, obviously, you guys, so Medlink. I heard a lot about European University, especially because it was back onto the GMC accredited list. So that made a huge difference. And just like when I applied last year from Medlink, it was one of the most popular ones and like in demand universities. And the amount of tech, the facilities, like you can see in front of you, the technologies in the university, like for example, just something that excited me was that we've got these new VR goggles. So when you're in the anatomy rooms, you wear the VR goggles and you can see your full, like the heart, the body, the muscles, whatever, like arteries, anything is there. Everything's in front of you and you can interact with it, whilst obviously there's nothing actually in front of you, but it's just through the VR goggles. So that was amazing. And just in terms of even the tuition fees was much lower compared to other Georgian universities. So that made a huge impact in my decision. So yeah, after I chose European University, went to the uni, discussed with Medlink a few of the accommodations. So originally I was a bit against staying in the dormitories, but my mom kind of convinced me to stay in the dorms, especially because it's a new place, it's a new country. I'm a very family oriented guy. So just mingling with new people, my mom thought the dorms would be best. Now, originally, I was against it. Like as anybody would be sharing a room, you kind of feel like your privacy is invaded. But I went there. I thought, okay, we're going to a new place. We might as well experience everything at the same time. So went to the dorms. And to be honest, right now, as of now, if I was to say, it's probably the best decision of my life as soon as I went to Georgia, because you're new there, literally nobody. I mean, you're lucky if you've got a friend who's going with you to Georgia. But if you knew nobody like me, then the dorms was perfect because I mingled with everybody. That full dorm, I think we're the only ones in Georgia who was a private dormitory, only for European University, and it's only for international students. So we've only got like people from India, people from Pakistan, people from Arabian countries, Middle East. So people from all over the place, basically. And just to live with them 24/7, you're definitely going to make friends. So I know there was a lot of people who came into, so when I was in my second semester, the juniors who were in first semester, right? A lot of them were scared, but you have to mingle because there's no way for you to stay alone, basically. So I'm very thankful for that. Um, so yeah, I mean, the experience was amazing. Just if I was to just say a quick overview of Georgia, especially, um, I did hear a few like, stereotypical rumors about Georgia from just family friends who have been there on holiday. I know a lot of you might have questions. Is it a racist country? A bit of discrimination. But personally speaking, I haven't gone through anything right now. I mean, with a guy with a beard, a Muslim, like an Asian guy, I haven't experienced any racism or discrimination till now. I mean, obviously, you go there, you're a new person in their country and um they're not really used to seeing new people. But I mean, by now there's so many students in all over Georgia now, so they're kind of accustomed to it now. So you don't really face any of this hatred or discrimination in any ways. So I mean, it is quite safe like that. I wouldn't say anything against it. Just probably there is a bit of a language barrier, but in European university, you have to study Georgian for 3 semesters. So I'm in my third semester now, and I'm learning the last segment of Georgian. Um, so it does help you a lot. You know all of the basic greetings, all of the basics to, for example, navigate through public transport, taxis, shops, just like restaurants. So you learn the basics anyways. So I mean, it's all right. It's all good then.
Fantastic. So do you speak fluent Georgian now?
Not fluent, but I mean, I can get my way around things. Just a few words here and there. They also understand that you're a student, you're learning, so they'll also help you. Like a few taxi drivers, they'll start teaching you a few words that, if you want to turn, if you want to stop, this is how you say stop. So just little things you learn along the way. So
That's
it's
been great.
Yep.
That's been great. In terms of you being there as a student, how has it been in terms of, as you said, get out and explore? How has it been in terms of you mixing in with other students from the UK and other countries? How has that been for you?
Mm. If I was to say, honestly, my first friend that I made in Georgia was from Birmingham. So, I mean, surprisingly, I was shocked myself as that literally the first class I went to, the first person I was sat next to was from Birmingham. So that was amazing for me. And in European university, there's so many students from UK. Majority are from London, basically, but a few of them from Bradford. So I'm from Bradford. A few of them who live nearby to me, actually, which was very shocking. But there's so many people from UK, and everybody's in the same situation where you're all away from home. You just want to kind of have a bit of close to home feeling, if that makes sense. So you're all in the same boat, and there's a lot of students, even seniors actually. So like semester 4, semester 5, there's so many UK people, and you just kind of form a group where you're all together and you're all there for each other. So like in my group of friends, there's me from UK and there's two other guys from UK. No, actually three other guys from UK, which is just my friends group. So you can imagine there's a full uni, so how many more UK guys there must be. And it does make a big difference because your like way of speaking, your language, your like cultural differences between like, for example, people from abroad, but having those UK guys there makes a huge difference. And I'm not gonna lie, um there is a bit of I don't want to make it sound like uh preference, but in university, if you say you're from UK, the teachers are like, oh wow, like he's from UK. So there's a bit of a preference like that. So I mean, we take advantage of it basically sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for that. I have a few more questions for you. So
Yeah.
as you were, you were a lot of students, as probably you were anxious about, first of all, applying.
Mhm.
And then you think, okay, I have to go to Georgia. A lot of people think, okay, well, what's the quality going to be like? Will I
Okay.
be discriminated when I come back to the UK? What was it that made you decide, okay, fine, I will go abroad and actually go and do this because this path I'm on, it means a lot to me, and it'll
Yep.
be a shame for me to throw it away. What made you make that decision?
So probably typically like everybody in this conference today, I can probably guarantee majority of you have that thing where you've always wanted to become a doctor. We all have that thought in our mind, where from a young age, we've all been pushed to becoming a doctor. I mean, in my household, there was nothing such where something's inspired me to become a doctor. In all honesty, it was just I was good in studies, I was good in everything. So that made me want to apply. Now, when I did my A levels, right? I I was a COVID student, so the grades were given by the government. So I kind of fell short on those grades. So I didn't get into UK. So then the second was that I have a few family friends who went to Bulgaria instead. So they told me do biomedical science, then see where you can go from there. So I'm a biomedical science graduate as well. So I've done that in university in Manchester. And then after that, I tried applying to postgraduate medicine. But again, in the UK, unfortunately, I didn't get my place. So then I came across Medlink. Medlink told me that, okay, just give us your A-level grades, whatever you're doing. We'll see if you can get you into a postgraduate medicine who can do 4 years. But there was some gray area which I couldn't really do that. So I just started from the 6-year course. Um, but it was just one of those things where biomedical science was, I only did that to get into medicine. I had no interest in it, to be very honest, because medicine was like fixed in my mind that, yeah, whatever happens, I want to become a doctor. I want to, make the family proud kind of thing, where your family is looking forward to you becoming a doctor as well. So that was the dream forever. So I didn't give up. I thought, whatever it is, okay, I'm 22 now. I know age is catching up. I'm gonna be 27 when I graduate. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you look at the end goal, you're becoming a doctor. It's a very rewarding career, to be very honest. So yeah, thankfully, thanks to Medlink as well, I had to do nothing. I just literally submitted my results to Medlink and everything was taken care by them. I just used to get emails just to check up that, okay, Amar, this is where your application is. Um, I mean, you won't believe, literally within a week, I got accepted into the European University. I applied a week before, I got my interview a week later, and within a few hours, I was accepted. So I'm very thankful to Medlink for making my journey extremely easy.
Yes, that's the key word, extremely. I think most people don't see the work that goes into trying to get everything together, application, documents, and the support that you received throughout. Um,
Definitely.
Final question for you though, Omar.
Okay.
Some students, and I know you'd have been to a few of our webinars, some of our
Mhm.
students who are listening probably were on that before, and
Okay.
they're probably on there now, and they're still unsure. And it's that hesitation of shall I go abroad? And it doesn't have to be Georgia specifically,
Yeah.
but I think it's that fear of the unknown. What advice do you have for those students? And of course, there'll be some of the parents that are listening, but from your perspective as a student who's now gone abroad, what advice do you have for them?
Um, there's two different advices. From an advice of a 21-year-old last year, I was a mature student. So I mean, I already did all of that, like the enjoying partying life, if you want to say it, in Manchester. So I was quite mature when I went abroad. And the fact that I was 21 made it more difficult because I had more years that I've spent at home as the older son of the family. Just with your parents, everything. So for me, it was extremely difficult moving away from home. And like, I'm not going to shy away from it, but it was very emotional when both of my parents came to Georgia with me to drop me off. So they were there for 4 days, and I still look back to the last day when they were dropping me off in that taxi. Um, let's just keep it as it was very emotional, basically. So I left in the taxi, they left for the airport. So very emotional time. And I mean, I was on the phone nonstop with my parents for that first week. Like, it's tough. It is very tough. You're going to another place at the end of the day. You spend your full life here. So it's very tough. But now just persevering over those few weeks, and now I think of it, it's the best decision of my life. If I were to go back, and any advice I would give to me is like, no, still go abroad. Don't just quit your dream just because you want to move away. If I look back to my parents 25 years ago when they first came to the UK, they shifted from Kuwait and they shifted with nothing basically. And it's just like if they had nothing and they could shift here, thank thankfully we have everything and they're sending us to another country. So we're not deprived of anything, thankfully. Um, all we're doing is just obviously everybody's going to feel emotional. And for parents on here as well, it is a tough decision, to make sending your child far from home, because it is very far. At the end of the day, you're just a phone call away, but physically you're thousands of miles away. So it is a very tough decision, but just go with it, because you're gonna thank yourself 6 years later when you're stood in your white coat at the graduation, and then you're gonna think that thank God I didn't just I wasn't shying away from just going abroad, because at the end of the day, what is it? You're just going to another country. You've built yourself, and a lot of I'm the oldest of my friends group. Most of my friends are 17 to 18, which I'm sure most of the students on this conference are. And again, if I was 21 and I felt this way, those guys are feeling even worse, because you're still maturing at the age of 17 and 18. You're not an adult completely. I know we say you're young adults now, but obviously me coming from a very Asian-based family, you're still the child of the family. You're not classed as like, okay, he's the adult of the family. So at the age of 18, just go for it. You're so safe. All your students are on the same boat. The teachers are very understanding. The university is understanding. Just things as such as, like, if you can see on the board, these leisure activities, like clubs, meeting up in the library. I mean, the library is amazing in our uni. Just little group sessions. Your teachers are very accommodating. You can message them whenever you want, wherever. We have all of their WhatsApp numbers, so we keep in contact with the teachers. And I would just say, just take the leap of faith, basically. Just don't miss the opportunity. You've got Medlink here who's helping you with everything. I know students who didn't have any agents and they applied by themselves, and the amount of paperwork they had to go through, because obviously it's a foreign country, so their visas, their everything. But the fact that you've got an opportunity like Medlink, um just go for it. Just step out and explore the world, basically. Because apart from studying, you'll have a few holidays. Like me, after my final exams, me and my friend, we rented a car and we went to Batumi, and we just had a day out, basically. So it's just explore the world whilst you're still young.
Yeah, amazing. Very inspiring. Thank you, Amar. A question that's come in, I know we asked the last question, but I couldn't help but ask you this question. And this person is asking, can you ask Amar how his religious activities has been affected after moving to Georgia?
Um, In all honesty, not much. My parents were very worried about this, because for me, religion's a huge thing. I'm one of the guys who go to like the mosque every week. Any little function, I'm at the mosque. Um, but luckily, we know how Asian parents are. They've got links back home and they communicate with all of the other aunties in their communities and everything. So my mom talked to one of our family friends in Kuwait, and their son and daughter had come to Georgia as well. So a few connections like that. And now we have our full religious community in Georgia as well. We meet up weekly, we meet in the library. They're all medical students, just from different universities. And I'm kind of happy, because now I have friends networked in different universities as well. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna sound biased, but European University, of all my friends, I feel is the best one. But with religious things, every Friday we have religious prayer with the full group in our university. We've got in the full we've got like a football field. So over there we hold the mass prayer every Fridays. And like, if I was to say, in the dormitories where we stay, majority of them are Muslims. So religiously like that, we've got Muslim, Christian. Georgia is Orthodox Christian. So in terms of churches and everything, a few of my Christian friends on Christmas and Easter and everything, they do make trips to the church. And um, so in terms of religious activities, you're not very deprived of anything. You can do whatever you want. Um, and you've always got the facilities to do, like, you've got a few prayer rooms where you can ask the teacher if you can use this room today as prayers, or we've got a designated area in our campus where if you're not able to make it to the football field for the prayer, you can go in that designated area and there'll still be prayers held over there. So you've got everything available there. And like, for example, I know this semester Ramadan is going to come in the way of my studies is going to come in the way of Ramadan, actually. So the fact that there's so many Muslims there, we all kind of sit for breaking the fast together. We'll all cook in the kitchen together, bring it outside into the benches because it's not too cold and it's not too warm. So we've got like a full courtyard in the dormitories where we'll sit. We'll bring our pots and pans, whatever we've cooked today, like, I don't know, like some chicken curry or whatever it is. And we'll break our fast together, a few dates and water and whatever it is. So it's good. The community's there. Your religious activities are always going to be there. So I would say there's nothing to be afraid in terms of losing touch with religion. You're always going to be there. You've got friends to encourage you to keep on it. And there's no such thing as, I know maybe parents might be fearful, like you're in another country, so I don't want my son to be maybe going out and partying, if that makes sense. But all the students are very responsible there. And at the end of the day, whoever's doing medicine, in a way, you're already responsible that you could get into medical school. You're not other students who are not that. You all have that mental capacity that you know what's right and what's wrong. And even if sometimes you might not, but you've got friends who always do, and people in the university to guide you along the way that, okay, this is right and this is not right. So as a parent, probably there's no need to worry about that so much.
Thank you so much, Amal. That's amazing.
Thank
There
you.
is a mosque there, right? Just for
Yeah,
everyone
there is.
listening. Okay, brilliant. Because the field, because you were talking about the field, those questions that were coming in. So I
Yeah,
wanted to
there is a
clarify for everyone.
yeah, there is.
Brilliant. I know you'll be staying for the Q&As. There are more questions coming in for you, so we'll
No
keep
worries.
them all for the Q&A. Thank you so much,
Thank
Amal.
you. Thank you. It's
Appreciate
nice.
it. Thank you. Wow, so many amazing reasons to study at the European. I don't need to say any more. I'm sure you guys have listened and seen all the many reasons to study abroad. So if you're still worried, here are many of the reasons for you. Now, we jet off to the Baltic Sea near the Northern Europe to talk about Latvia. I want to bring in my colleague Dana to talk to you guys about what schools that we have there. Dana?
Thank you, Edmund. So another very popular university we have is Riga Students University in Latvia. A very nice university, but to excite you here, I'm not going to be the one telling you about it. We have with us today a special guest, which is the International Admissions Officer, Mrs. Ease. She's going to be telling us more about this. Mrs. Ease, are you with us?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Good evening and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much, Medlink colleagues, for having me here. Good evening, my colleagues from other universities and all the participants of this webinar. My name is Ilze Zvēra. I am International Admissions Officer of Riga Students University, and I'm very honored tonight to be part of this webinar and to tell you a little bit more about our university. First of all, greetings to you from the capital city of Latvia, which is Riga. Latvia is located in the northern part of Europe, and it is one of the three Baltic states. We are a member of European Union and NATO. Riga Students University has the experience working with and educating medical and dental students for more than 70 years. And experience educating international students 30 plus years. We currently have 12,000 students, and out of those, 3,000 plus are international students. And they are representing 83 different countries. So the environment here at Riga Students University is very diverse and multicultural. It is very interesting that the top 5 countries represented among our international students are our neighboring countries, Sweden, Finland, Germany, Norway, and Italy. And as I said, the environment here is very, very multicultural. And if you will be joining us, then definitely being one of our students, you will be placed on the group with nationals or with people from all over the world. So this is very unique experience that you can get here while studying at Riga University. As you saw on the first slide, we do offer intakes twice a year. So the current intake is February, and then we do have the September intake as well. We do not have entrance exams. So one of our requirements is to have your A-levels in high school subjects or courses, biology and/or chemistry and mathematics. And this is essential to have good grades in order to get an offer of study place from Riga University. Our diplomas are recognized worldwide, and we do have quite wide network of graduates practicing all over the world and developing this collaboration network, global collaboration network. From the pictures that are available in the slides that you see, you most probably have noticed that we offer simulation-based training combined with early clinical approach and early patient contact. And as you saw in the first slide, the study programs, two most popular study programs that we offer in English taught study programs are medicine and dentistry. So let me tell you a little bit more about those two programs, as they are the most popular ones. And you saw on the first slide that those two programs are offering 2 degrees. So let me start with a study program dentistry, which is 5 years program. The tuition fee is 15,500 euros per year. And it is 5 years of studies, and the study process is divided into several blocks. First of all, the first year is basic and theoretical courses that are provided, and those are the courses that are more or less like human anatomy, biochemistry, that is needed as a background or foundation for your preclinical and clinical years. We do continue with the second year, which is considered preclinical, as our students are having classes in our high-tech facilities equipped with 3D technologies and different kinds of equipment available for studies. And study years 3, 4, and 5, those are considered clinical years, as the training and all the classes are held in our clinical center, and our students are educated and trained under supervision of our dental professionals. So practicing professionals are involved on daily basis in educating potential and future dental professionals. This is about our study program dentistry, and few words about our study program medicine. This is 6 years program, as in most countries of Europe, and the study process is divided into 4 blocks, and it starts with the first 2 years as the basic years or theoretical years, when our students have courses in sciences like human anatomy again, microbiology, histology, and then There are some humanities as well taught, like psychology, languages like Latin language and local Latvian language as well. And then the third year is preclinical, and then fourths and fifths, those are considered clinical years, and then study year 6 is considered practical year, although I should say study year 4 and 5 is already very practical and very clinical when all the classes are held in our clinical bases out in hospitals, and our students have the opportunity to have this early patient contact, to experience the early patient contact. So this is something that we consider as an advantage for our students. I actually have been part of this university for 14 years, and my first 7 years I have spent being part of the medical faculty. So that's why I can more share about study program medicine, but in general, I know that the time is limited to share more, and I just want to encourage those who are considering stepping on this medical or dental path. I would like to encourage you to go for your dreams, and don't be afraid of choosing one of the universities and studying abroad. And I would like to welcome you to participate in one of our open days events as well, online or on-site ones, as it is not very far to travel from UK to Latvia by plane. Thank you very much once again for this opportunity to share a little bit more about our university.
Thank you for coming, Mrs. Ease. It was an amazing explanation. I couldn't have done it better. Thank you for coming. And a quick question for you. A lot of students usually ask us, what can we do for fun besides studies? Can you tell us more about the activities you have for students, the extracurricular activities, and the reasons why someone should come and study at Riga?
Yeah, first of all, about those extracurricular activities, I think since we are the capital city, there are a lot of events going on, social and cultural events going on out in the city, but we usually try to encourage our students to focus more on studies, as the opportunities are so many to do something else, but studies are priority first of all. And there are a lot of activities organized by our students. As you can see that we do have International Student Association and a lot of academic and national societies. So there are a lot of events organized by them and organized by our university. They are mentioned, by the way, on that slide. And we do have, of course, we do encourage our students to keep balance between studies and their general well-being. There are a lot of sport activities and sport clubs and teams available, and a lot of other activities. And to answer the second part of your question, why choose RSU? Because I think that's a unique experience to study abroad and to really gain a lot of potential collaboration partners for your practical years, for your professional years, to gain contacts here and to learn a lot. So this would be my answer.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
So moving on from here, we will move to discuss an option in Poland. In Poland, we have a university called Silesia Medical University. Silesia Medical University is also one of our very prestigious universities. It's located in a city called Katowice. It's known to be one of the biggest cities in Poland, and this university offers medicine, dentistry, and pharmacy. The university has an entrance exam, which is a basic exam to test your basic knowledge on biology and chemistry that we help you prepare for. And the tuition fees are known to be very affordable compared to other options in Europe or Western Europe in general. Fees can range between 15,000 to 13,000, to 15,000 euros a year. And living expenses are very reasonable, where you can spend up to 700 euros a year. According to accommodation, we usually have private apartments for students, or you can be in a university dormitory. And the university has a February intake coming up. So to explain more about this option, I'm going to invite one of our students who's going to join us today, is Anina. Can you hear me, Anina?
Hi, yes, I think so. Can you guys hear me?
Hi. Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect.
So Anina, can you tell us more about your experience at the university?
Yeah, it's pretty great, to be honest. Like, the only thing is I live a bit far away, but it's amazing. Like, the first 2 years are kind of I took the international course, so for me the first 2 years are pre-med. But then this year I start my clinical years, so it will get a little bit harder. But I'm really excited because we get to do things like surgery and we get to go into labs and stuff. So this is definitely a more exciting year. The first 2 years are a lot more chill. You definitely get to integrate more with the community.
Okay, and mentioning community, can you tell us more about life there? How did you find it?
Yeah, it's great. Like, everything living here is ridiculously cheap. Like, I mean, at least when you compare it to England, it's really cheap. Like, we get a taxi to school every day and it's maybe like £4, and then we split that between 4 of us, so it's like £1, and it's really safe. Like, we always go out late at night, and I've never ever felt unsafe, really. And there's always so much to do. Like, we live so close to the town, and we also live so close to Krakow, so it's like maybe £2 for the train there, I think, with the student discount. So there's always something to do. Like, there's the only thing that's different here to compare to there is that the shops close a little bit earlier here, but apart from that, there's always something to keep you occupied.
Nice. So you're enjoying your experience there. Glad to hear that.
Yes, definitely.
And a question that has been asked to a previous student on this webinar, Amma, I'm going to ask you this for you too, because students want to hear it from a student's perspective. How was your experience moving to a different country and taking this big step?
It was, like, unlike him, I'd never moved away from home, so I'd always been at home. So honestly, for me, it was a little bit exciting, because, like, obviously I love my parents and I love my family very much, but when you're cooped up with them for a year and you can see all of your friends having an amazing class, I took a gap year, so obviously, like, my friends are all away at university and I was the one that stayed at home. So, like, when you get to experience that, it's really exciting. But it was obviously a little bit sad, but honestly, to be honest, I wasn't that upset because the flights home are so cheap, and it's not even a long flight. Like, the airport is like half an hour away from here, and like also my home in England, like, the airport is not very far away, so like if I wanted to go home, I could go. The flights, like, my mum once came here for £5. Like, the flight, I'm going home tomorrow for like £18. Like, it's not expensive. Like, so I didn't really feel that awful about moving, and obviously, like, I made loads of friends here, and I could definitely say now, like, I have 2 homes.
Lovely. And what would you tell students that are on this webinar trying to hear your perspective as a student, to take this big step, to take the courage? They're worried, they're hesitant a bit. What would you tell them about this?
Like,
what's your advice?
My uncle told me this, and he was saying, like, life is moving on, like, life has changed, like, you can't just expect things to change if you stay the same. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, everything evolves, and so do you, and it's not the big step that you think you're taking. Realistically, it probably takes me the same amount of time to get back to my home in England as it does for someone that lives in London if they drove. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not as big as you don't have, it's not as daunting as it seems. Like, you'll come here and you'll make loads of friends, and especially like the first 2 years, you'll have so much time to explore the city. Like, you don't have, honestly, there's nothing to worry about.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing your experience with us, Anina, and for coming here tonight. I'm sure a lot of students appreciate it. And good luck with your journey.
Thank you. It was good to see you.
Lovely to have you here. And to tell you more about Silesia, I mean, talking about the extracurricular activities, the university has arranged a lot of nice activities for students to do outside studies. We're talking about field trips, national events, sports, like students who like sports. There's horse riding, swimming, dancing, climbing, cooking for students who like cooking. And of course, the ceremonies and the parties they arrange for students for you to make friends, to have a community and get to meet new people, like graduation, welcoming parties, New Year. And to talk more about why study at Silesia Medical University, I'd say one of the main reasons is the diversity, the diverse environment and the student body they have. In addition to the European degree that's worldwide recognized, affordable, affordable tuition fees, being an EU member. So there's a lot of reasons why study at Silesia. As Anina said, safe area, nice university, friendly, good quality of education. And if you're interested in this university, just feel free to get in touch and we'll let you know more about it. Moving on from here, I'll invite my colleague Tom to tell us more about another exciting option, which is in Malta. Tom?
Fantastic. Thanks, Dana. So yes, on to Medicampus Europeo. This is a fantastic opportunity on an ancient island. Of course, Malta is a top holiday destination for many, many people due to its amazing weather, culture, and people, making it an incredible destination also for international students to go and study. Now, we feel extremely fortunate to be able to work with such a prestigious institution that has partnerships in itself with ancient universities like Trakia Medical University in Bulgaria, which is an extremely well-known school to many of our students. And yeah, here to tell you a little bit more about this is Luca. Luca, are you with us?
Hello, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you doing?
Fine, thanks. Thank you for inviting me to this webinar.
Of course, it's our pleasure. Please tell us a little bit about your school.
Yeah, thanks. First of all, I'm glad to be here with you, Medlink, and to represent the Medicampus Europeo Faculty of Medicine in Malta. So, good evening, everyone. I'm Luca Cammarata. I'm Managing Director of the Medicampus Europeo. I'm going to start with a brief overview of the Medicampus. So, we are a brand new higher education institution, recently accredited on the 26th of June of this year by the Maltese authorities, by the Malta Further and Higher Education Authority. So this means that we are going to start with our first class, first academic year of medicine, February 2025. But even if Medicampus Europeo is a new institution, our degree course in medicine is delivered in franchising with the Trakia University. So this means that our degree in medicine has a double value, as at the end of the studies, our students will obtain a degree awarded also by Trakia University. I think this is a very important point, because I can understand that the student can be concerned to go to study to a new university, but our cooperation with Trakia University gives us the possibility to draw on the long experience of Trakia, and you have the security to receive a full degree of medicine also from a public European university. In fact, just a few words about Trakia. Trakia is a state university located in Bulgaria. It's one of the biggest and most famous university in Bulgaria. It was founded in 1995. Currently hosts around 9,000 students. They have 9 faculties, 43 3-year degrees, 71 masters, 90 doctoral programs. So it's a big university. And our joint study program of medicine is not only accredited by the Maltese authorities, but also by the National Agency for evaluation and accreditation in Bulgaria. So we have a double accreditation from Maltese and Bulgarian authorities. Moreover, Trachea University is listed in the World Directory of Medical Schools, and the Medicampus Europeo will be listed within 1 year too. Our study program uses the European credit transfer system, and the degree is automatically recognized in all European countries. We are fully compliant with GMC requirements. In fact, Bulgaria and Malta are 2 members of the European Union. And obviously our degree can be recognized also outside Europe, for example, United States or Canada. We strongly wanted to provide our degree in medicine in collaboration with a public European university, and we found in Trachea the perfect partner. They have a long experience in teaching medicine in English. They started more than 20 years ago to teach medicine in English to international students. And regarding the teaching staff at the Medicampus will be composed by some Bulgarian professors from Trachea and many professors also from top Italian universities with medicine English programs. Obviously, Malta is very close to Italy, so we have a lot of connections also with Italian universities. Our program in medicine is a 6-year degree course. It's totally taught in English language with a total of 360 credits and mandatory attendance. And the graduates at Medicampus will receive the title of Doctor of General Medicine. The tuition fee is, you have 2 options. If you pay in one single installment, the tuition fee is 14,500 euros. If you prefer to pay in 2 semester installments, so every 6 months, the tuition fee is 15,500 euros, so 1,000 more. 1,000 euros more. I like to call our institution a boutique medical school. In fact, in accordance with Trachea University, we decided to accept only 48 students per year, so 48. This is quite a low number of students, and that give us the possibility to look after all the students in a very personal way, and our professors will be able to dedicate a lot of time and attention to them. So basically, you are not just a number for us, and our main goal is that you will have all available means to succeed and graduate at our medical faculty. Our students will receive a practice-oriented academic education. They will work in small groups and through preparatory simulation exercises and practical activities in laboratories, starting from the first year, our students will acquire in-depth knowledge and expertise. You will also learn how to approach patients and talk to them effectively. For this reason, many hours of practical training are integrated into our curriculum. And beginning with the third academic year, you will start practical training in hospital. And you have also the possibility to choose in which of our partner teaching hospitals you prefer to do your practical training. You can do it directly in Malta, for example, at the St. James Hospital, that is the biggest private hospital in Malta. Or you prefer, you can do practical activities in other European countries. At the moment, we are finalizing some collaboration agreements with hospitals in Italy and Germany, for example. So the big difference of studying at Medicampus in Malta, instead studying directly in Bulgaria, is, for example, that you don't need to study Bulgarian language, and you can do practical activities in English and with English-speaking patients in Malta, and not with Bulgarian-speaking patients or in Bulgarian hospitals. So I think this is a huge advantage for English native speakers. For those who don't know, Malta was an English colony. In fact, there are 2 official languages in Malta, English and Maltese. But for example, all the main journals and televisions are in English, and the Maltese people speak English to each other. Malta is a beautiful island close to Italy, with beautiful sights, warm and welcoming people. Is one of the world's smallest countries, but there are a lot of academic institutions, and in fact is one of the most popular student destinations across Europe. What makes Malta a great destination for students, besides the safe environment provided by the island, is the fact that, as I told you before, most of the inhabitants are bilingual, and some of the biggest communities of foreigners in the island are British and Italian. So I have to say that living on an island like Malta with warm weather throughout the whole year is not so bad. The cost of living in Malta is not too high. You can spend around 700-800 euros per month for food and accommodation. It's really well connected to Europe, and not only to Europe. There are direct flights from almost anywhere in Europe. Air Malta is the national airline, and it operates from all the major airports in Europe, but also North Africa, Middle East, and so on. And there are also many other airlines you can fly with: Ryanair, EasyJet, British Airways, Lufthansa, Emirates. So there are many airlines companies. Speaking about the campus is located in Pembroke. It is a quiet town, very close to the sea, and within 5 minutes walking distance to the most popular town of St. Julian's. That is one of the most attractive educational and touristic centers in Malta. In St. Julian's, there are many hotels and restaurants, and there are also many English schools there. So let's say that Pembroke is about 2-3 kilometers from St. Julian's. The campus is located within a splendid stone building. It has a typical Maltese style, and it was built almost 100 years ago by the British government. The campus is filled with modern and spacious facilities. There are 22 classrooms and a big lecture hall. There is a dedicated computer room, study areas, a small library, and leisure areas. The students will do also practical activities in a modern medical laboratory with medical equipment, microscopes for biology, chemistry, anatomy, and other subjects. Inside the campus, there is also a student residence with welcoming, spacious apartments. There is also a restaurant, canteen, an Olympic-sized swimming pool, a volleyball court, and a beautiful garden. The student residence is equipped with fully furnished apartments with kitchen. In total, in the campus, there are approximately 350 beds, so it's pretty huge. You will be able to choose whether to stay alone or share the apartment with other students. And of course, the presence of a student residence in the campus offers to our students the opportunity to avoid the stress of finding and furnishing an apartment. And another good thing is that you will pay the apartment only for 9 months per year, since during the summer period from January to September, when the faculty is closed, you don't need to pay the rent of the apartment. So you don't need to pay 12 months or the rent for 12 months, but just for 9 months. So the campus, as I told you before, has a restaurant bar with tables inside and outside, a terrace next to the swimming pool. You can have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and also take a coffee or whatever you prefer. We also organize many extracurriculum and sport activities at our campus. Regarding the admission process, we have an online admission test on the 7th and 8th of November. It will be the third session. We had other 2 admission tests in September and October, so the last one will be the one in November. The admission test consists of 75 multiple choice questions on biology and chemistry. There are 50 questions on biology and 25 questions on chemistry, with 4 response options, and both areas are equally weighted. And in total, the students have 90 minutes to finish the test. There is also an English test, but only for not native English speakers. So, for example, the 7th of November, there is the English test that is not mandatory for the native English speakers. And the 8th of November, there is the test on chemistry and biology. For the test of biology and chemistry, Medlink will send you a database composed by around 700 questions of chemistry and biology. And it's important to study on this database because, and it's really useful, the database, because all the questions of the test will be extrapolated by this database. So it's very important to study very well these 700 questions. As I told you at the beginning, the academic year will start in February, so the first semester. In January, we will also have an intensive English course, but it's not mandatory for native English speakers. So if you are a native English speaker, you can come directly in February and skip the English course. The next year, we will have 2 intakes, the one in February and another one in October, so you can decide when to start to study. So I believe that living in Malta and the Medicampus gives the opportunity to combine study and personal life in a healthy way. Study medicine is tough, so it's not easy. And so I think that it's important to be able also to relax in your free time and free your mind. In Malta, you will have the opportunity to make new friends because it's an international environment, it's a friendly and relaxing island. So I think that is a great spot where to study.
Wow, Luca, what a comprehensive overview you've given of the university. I've been trying really hard to think of questions to ask you, but you've covered everything I can think of.
Great.
So thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me to this webinar. Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course, no problem at all. There's actually only one bad side I can see to studying at your university, and I think that's that so many people are going to want to apply now that it's going to be tough for everyone to get their space. So advice to any of you that are looking into this school now, please do get in touch with us as soon as possible. There are a couple of intakes available throughout the year. We can go through, we can check you meet the requirements for this incredible school, this amazing opportunity, and we can start giving you, as Luca mentioned there, access to a full database of materials that you will need to get a good competitive score on the entrance test and to get your place at this amazing medical university. Thank you, Luca.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, what a fantastic opportunity to take advantage of. I'm actually considering it myself, especially in Malta. What a location. Okay, Edmund, back to you.
Come, don't go without me. I am coming to Malta too. I am very jealous of anyone going there. Amazing. Wow. What a night. So, how can we help you? This is the question. And how Medlink students can actually support you with your journey into medicine. By the way, we've had hundreds and hundreds of questions. Keep them coming. We will be spending some time for the Q&A. So as I say, there's no such thing as a silly question. And we hope that you've been getting some value from this and to make the right decision. As we know, it's a big step. All right, so Medlink students. Now, the services that we offer is streamlined to help you find the perfect university. And as I always say, there is a perfect university for everyone. And that's from handling your documents to helping you with settling in and on-ground support to even graduation. Now, we understand for many of you, this might be the first time that you're moving abroad. It can be a daunting experience. So that's why we've designed our services to make your transition as smooth as possible. So the very, very first step is a simple phone call or even a video call with one of our advisors, myself, Tom, the rest of the team here. We're all here to help you and discuss your specific requirements. Any concerns that you have. We have to take into account your budget, of course. Even things like your personality, things that interest you, any particular medical program that you're into. And then based on all of the information that we gather, We can provide you with personalized suggestion, and that's tailored to your needs as a student. And whether we're talking with the parents or whether all of you are there on the call, it's going to be tailored to you, especially to you. And our goal is to ensure that the university that we recommend or suggest, they will align perfectly with your aspirations and meet with your criteria. Because we want you to go to the right school, but also the right environment. And those two things, they go hand in hand. Now, once you've decided on the schools that you want to choose, we take care of the rest of the applications, as you heard from Amar. And that's from the entire application. We have a team dedicated to making sure that your application is handled day and night. And they will make sure that the documents are properly certified. They will, of course, keep in touch with you and make sure that everything that you're sending us is exactly as the university need. Now, if the university requires entrance exam, we will ensure that you are prepared for that as well. If there is an interview, we will also prepare. If there is none of this, we will also ensure that your application has the highest chance of acceptance. And we will discuss all of these with you. Now, throughout the process, our team will be available to answer questions, support, and address any concerns that you have. Now, the support doesn't end there. Once you're accepted into the school that you prefer, we don't just congratulate you and throw you into the country to leave things for you to figure out. We understand that moving to a new country can be quite daunting. So we have on-ground team that will help you with your integration from when you first arrive in the country to going to the university to register, to making sure that you have somewhere to live, of course. Then we assist you with things like opening local bank accounts, getting your residence permits, and everything that you need to make your stay quite comfortable and secure. Which means that you don't have to contact your family every time you need something. You always have on-ground support throughout your journey, which makes your parents have their peace of mind knowing that you're safe, which also makes you know that if you need something outside your academics, you've always got that community. And there are hundreds and hundreds of students from the UK who are studying there. There are also students from other countries that we also have. We've got students from Singapore, we've got students from the US, we've got students from Africa, Pakistan, India, from all over the world. And they make the environment such a beautiful thing because of the community that they form and the friendships that you form. And of course, you still got us throughout. Even when you're done with your medical schools, when you decide to come back to the UK, we also assist you with things like registration with the GMC. And that's the support you're going to get from us. And that's through just having a simple phone call with us. Now, post-graduation support essentially means that we can also help you stand out when you are looking for things like work in the UK, which is one of the things that we've done for our recent graduates as well from Bulgaria. So we are there basically helping you every step of the way. And the services is basically to take the stress out of studying abroad so you can focus on what really matters, your education that is really important to you. Because we're just here to make sure that you actually achieve your academic goals, but also enjoy the journey of becoming a global citizen or healthcare professional. Now, it's time to take the questions. So to help you guys, of course, answer a lot of the questions live, my colleague Dana, my colleague Tom, they're all going to help. We're also going to help answer all the questions. The students are also here. They're going to also help answer these questions that you guys have. There's so many. So we're going to pick the top questions and answer them. Let's keep them coming. There's no such thing as a silly one. So don't hesitate to ask anything that's on your mind. Dana?
All right, the most exciting part. Going through the questions, I saw a question that has been asked by a few students several times. I think the best person to answer this would be Amar. Are you with us, Amar? Amar, can you hear me? All right. We'll save your question. We have another student with us, Lavanian. Can you hear me, Lavanian? Okay, so we'll save the questions. Also, Lavania's question. Tom, I'll ask you a question while we're waiting for Amar and Lavania to connect. One of the common questions we're getting is, when should I apply? When's the deadline?
Okay, fantastic question. Very difficult to give a short and concise answer. So when it comes to deadlines, the obvious one is just to have a look on the university's website. You just Google, when is the deadline for this school? Some of you might even put it into ChatGPT, for example, which we never recommend, because deadlines are never that simple. The thing is, when you're applying abroad, you're applying as an international student. And what this means is that they're not just going to accept your qualifications straight away exactly as it stands. There's a lot of things that have to be done, like translations and legal work. Sometimes the application process can take up to 2 months for us to build and submit a successful application before you can even hand that application in, which then has to go in before the deadline. You've then got to think about things like materials, for example. So usually you only get access to top materials when you start an application process with a university to prepare for their exam. So if you're one of the students that's applying right at the very last minute, you're also one of the students that has the least amount of preparation time to get into one of these top schools. So our advice at Medlink, apply as soon as you're ready. The sooner you can apply, the better it is for you.
All right, thanks, Tom. Another question we're being asked is the university GMC recognized? Edmund?
Is the university, what's the question?
Is the university GMC recognized?
Okay, so I'm assuming
about all our universities.
Okay, I was just about to ask that. Thank you for clarifying. So, as I mentioned before, in one of the talks, a lot of these schools that we work with, we actually research them very well. So it takes us a while to actually start talking about a specific school. So we will look into things like the curriculum. We will look into what is required to register. For example, a lot of our students who are in the UK or want to practice in the UK, they want to know, does the university meet things like the GMC's required hours? Does it meet the 5,500 hours that the GMC require? Does it also meet the World Directory? Is it registered there? How many years can I study and come back to the UK? Those are all things that will go into your mind because you want to make sure you can use the degree. Now, the great news is that we've done all the hard work for you. So you don't actually have to do all of this. All of these universities that we've talked about, a lot of these schools, all of these universities meet the criteria of registering somewhere, whether it's the UK, whether you want to go to Australia, whether you want to go to the US. Every single country has what their requirements are. But just to reassure you, coming back to the UK, the degrees do meet the criteria to register with the GMC. And if you choose a university that doesn't meet it, we will tell you, of course. The whole point of the conversations that we have with you is to help you find the right place. And sometimes we will tell you if the university doesn't meet the criteria. And if it's something that you're really interested in, then we can look at something that's more similar to that. But we will always look for universities that meet the criteria of the GMC.
Okay, thank you, Edmund. Another question we have here is, can I apply without having biology or chemistry? I'm going to answer this. We have universities that have very flexible requirements, and each university has different requirements. Some universities would require you to have 2 sciences, some 1 science, some 3, some you can apply if you don't have any sciences. So whatever your qualification is, whatever you have, feel free to get in touch with us, and one of our expert advisors will be telling you which universities we can get you in and you can be accepted. And if you need to sit an exam, we will help you for that. That's another question we have here in the Q&A is, do I have to sit an exam and how do I prepare? Through our years of experience with these universities, our expert team know what topics the universities or what subjects they focus on. So we've created our own material that if you cover the material we give you, you should ace this exam, pass it with flying colors. So don't worry, whatever you have in high school, don't feel like I don't qualify or I won't be accepted. We're here for you, and this is why we exist, is to help you achieve your dream of becoming a doctor. As long as you have the passion and the drive, feel free to get in touch with us and we will help you make this dream come true. Now, another question here is language barrier. I think I'll invite my colleague Tom to answer this. What about the language barrier going to a new country? Tom?
Yeah, this is a very common concern that students are worried about. How am I going to be able to speak to people? How am I going to get by? It's daunting enough that you're leaving your family and friends, but you're also going to somewhere with a different language. Now, the good thing is that most of these big cities in Europe, English is a very common language that people speak. Even if they just speak the basics of their language, it's enough for you to get by. I can tell you myself, I'm someone who's from the UK but is living in Eastern Europe, and I am terrible at languages. And so for me, having people that speak English wherever I need is essential. If it ever comes to the rare opportunity where that's not the case, then of course you've got your phone, you've got your data, you've got Google Translate. It's very simple to use. And again, very easy to get by on. Now, on top of that, the other thing to be aware of is at the school, everything's in English, which means all your professors, all the support staff, and of course all of your peers all speak fluent English. And that's where you're going to be spending the majority of your time. Also, most of these universities have free complementary language lessons in the first 1 to 2 years of their course. Now, these aren't very difficult lessons. They don't go into loads and loads of detail, but they are just there to teach you the basics for 2 reasons. One is to help you to get around at first when it comes to going around the city, for example, being able to say hello, thank you, sorry, these sorts of things. And the other one is so that by the time you get to the clinical years, you'll be able to say some really basic things to patients so that you don't have to completely rely on the professors. However, they will be there to translate most things for you with most of the schools. It does, of course, depend on the school as well, so do get in touch with us, and if the language thing is an issue for you, we'll pair you with schools where it's more focused towards the English language. And that's something we can do because, as we mentioned before, we're an organisation that works for you as the student, so we'll be able to guide you on the right path with that too. Thanks, Dana.
Thank you, Tom. So I see Lavanian has joined us. Can you hear me, Lavanian? Okay, so I saved the question for you because I thought it would be best to be answered by a student. We have a lot of students asking about the safety living there and the diversity. Can you tell us more about your experience on that?
Okay, so I actually moved to Georgia for university. I study at European University of Georgia.
We can't hear you, Levan.
Hello?
Yep, we can hear you now.
So in terms of my year group, most of us did come from the UK, and it was sort of just another UK university to me. And in terms of diversity, I had a lot of people from my country and a lot of people from different sort of countries that all came together at the universities. And we did have a lot of events where, so different cultures. So for Desi people, there was a lot of Desi events that were taking place. And even for some of my Muslim friends, they always sort of do this thing for Friday prayer at one of the uni campuses so that all the Muslims can get together and sort of have some time together as well. And in terms of safety, I think there's nothing to be worried about. I understand that a lot of people are moving away from their home and they're probably scared about living by themselves, but as long as you sort of get your first group of friends and you sort of have contacts within the country, there should be no worries about your safety. And we live sort of privately, so we don't live with the accommodation the uni gives. And even so, I don't think there's been any sort of issues with my safety in Georgia. But yeah.
Thank you. And another question for you. I see a lot of questions that students are asking. So can you tell us more about your relationship with the professors? How are the professors at the university?
So for my university, they're all English speaking, so it's very easy to sort of contact them. And most of them, sort of in the first lecture that you see them, they give you sort of a contact number or an email so that you can contact them at any time when you have any sort of doubts or anything. And in general, they're quite friendly. I don't know about other countries, but for Georgia, our lecturers have always been friendly with us, and they sort of don't really treat us as students. It's sort of like a partnership where they teach us and we learn, and it's never sort of strict, or it's not very, how do I say it? It's not sort of like secondary school. It's more sort of professional, and they sort of they treat you more professionally as well. But yeah.
Okay. And can you tell us more about the extracurricular activities you have in Georgia? Seems you're enjoying your experience there.
Yeah, so I don't know, even right now we got a couple of emails this week saying that they'd open up. Yeah, so they're opening up new sort of activities like badminton, dance, football, and every sort of 2 weeks, our coordinator, her name's Laika, and she will sort of update us with any sort of new events or new sort of sports activities. And in terms of personal activities, like for example, I go gym. There's several gyms around the area that you can go to and you can visit. And even sort of for other stuff, like I play football with my friends. There's a lot of areas where you can play football, badminton, and yeah, there's sort of everything that you can do in London or around UK you can do in Georgia. I can't speak for other countries, but I'm pretty sure if Georgia does it, a lot of the other countries do as well.
All right. Well, thanks, Lavanian. Thanks for answering the questions and for joining us today.
No worries.
Omar, are you with us? Amar, can you hear me? Okay.
Hello?
Oh, okay. You're here.
Hi, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Perfect, nice one. Yep, sorry, I didn't get that question. What was the question?
Well, a very common question we're also getting in the Q&A is about the clinical and hands-on experience. You study in Georgia too, so can you tell us more about that?
Video. Yep. So the clinical wait, can you see me or is my video turned off? Wait.
We can't see you.
Yep.
Yeah, we can see you now.
All right, cool, perfect. So the clinical hands-on experience, I think, is good if I'm comparing you with other universities in Georgia, because I know other universities, they started quite late on, but with European University, it starts from first semester. You've got your clinical practices straight away, which, to be honest, was quite shocking for me as well, because I didn't think we would get hands-on practical experiences that fast. But within first semester, we got your OSCEs. So it's called OSCEs, the practicing that you're doing. For students who don't know what OSCE means, it's basically the practical examinations that you have to go through. And we get taught that from start. So just basics from first semester. Obviously, they're not going to teach you that much. So just like taking BPs, what kind of injections, actually doing injections, and the fact that they've got like models and like plastic rubber mannequins, so you can actually work with those. So like, for example, when you're giving injections, you'll have like intramuscular, intravenous, and you've got those proper, the rubber skin feel to make it as close to a human feel as possible to get the injections properly, the angles, everything. So yeah, I think the clinical practices are quite good in European University. You've got the hands-on experience straight away. And I think I had seen in the chat box, somebody was asking about cadavers as well. Now in European University, we don't have cadavers, but we've got the anatomage table. So it's like a complete virtual table that you've got with the human body. So then you can control whatever like layers of a human body you want to see. So muscular layer, or the skin, the dermis layer, or the skeletal layer, whatever you want. So I mean, it's probably better for people who can't really handle a cadaver straight away. and anybody and everybody can use that table. It's free for use in your anatomy lessons, physiology lessons. So yeah, I think in terms of the clinical practices, the uni is fantastic.
Okay, thank you. Well, it seems you're having a great experience there.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
since you've been there for a while, I have some girls asking me, how is it like for a Muslim girl to go to Georgia?
I think from I mean, obviously, I'm not a Muslim girl, but in my friends group, we do have a few Muslim girls who are, in fact, few of them are hijabis as well. And if I can speak on behalf of them, with what we share, you know, in friends groups and everything, they are enjoying it because it is friendly. In our university, there's loads of Arabs, there's Pakistani girls, Indian girls, from all cultures, from whichever backgrounds, Muslim girls who wear hijabs, who don't wear hijabs, completely up to them. Everybody's accommodating for it. The university is very accommodating towards it. So, for example, in terms of, I know a lot of people, like if I go back to last year, a lot of my friends did have this worry, like if we're working in the clinics, do we have to remove our headscarves? Do we have to remove the hijabs? That kind of thing. But the university is very accommodating with that. That as long as it's just tucked in properly within, like, I don't know, a jumper or your white coats or whatever, there's no problems with that. And like I was saying when Edmund asked me the question as well previously, that religiously there's no issues as such, to be very honest. No kind of racism faced personally. I mean, I can only go from me. So personally, from my experiences and my friends' experiences, no such kind of racism towards Muslims. Everybody's very nice. Everybody is accommodating towards anybody and everybody, to be honest. So it doesn't matter whether you're a Muslim, a Christian, a Hindu, it doesn't really matter. Everybody just looks at you as one. You're all medical students, you're all studying the same thing. So it doesn't really matter.
Lovely. And since you mentioned you have friends, I'm assuming you might have friends that wear a hijab or you've heard from their experience. Do they feel safe?
Yeah, they feel fine as well, especially because the fact that you're not the only one wearing a hijab. I understand sometimes if you're a singular person just on your own wearing it, you can feel very, afraid, not afraid, but I can't find the right word for it. But yeah, just a bit scared of, like, I'm the only one and you don't fit in. But because there's so many people who wear hijabs and scarves, so to be very honest, nobody really looks at you. Maybe if you're thinking racistly or in a discriminative way, you're completely fine. I feel you're safe as well. You have people around you at all times. And the full Georgia is just full of students. So at the end of the day, you're always around students most of the time, whichever areas you live in. Like currently where I stay in European universities area, it's a completely like Arab population. So loads of hijabis, loads of Muslim guys, Muslim girls. So it's fine, I think. Should be safe. I mean, to be very
Well,
honest, if I was to just I feel like my saying is for myself is if you're good to them, they're gonna be good to you. If you don't go out trying to behave like trying to do some mischief, then you're gonna get the mischief back to you. But if you're just safe with them guys, if you're gonna be nice with whoever you're around, they'll always be nice to you as well. So just it's better not to just keep being a bit nosy and everything. Just do your own thing, stick to whatever you're doing, and just keep to yourself basically sometimes.
all right. Well, thanks a lot for answering this question.
Awesome.
And
Thank
I'm sure the girls that have asked this are feeling very comfortable now after this question.
Yep, hopefully.
Okay,
Thank you.
no problem. So, Edmund?
Thank you, Dana. There is a question that has been asked, and I think it's quite fitting, and I think I'll call on my colleague Tom to answer this. And it's tell me why it is better to apply through you instead of applying myself directly to the university. Fantastic question. Great question. I'll let my colleague Tom come in and answer this question because this is very relevant to all of the students who are thinking, very inspired, but thinking, I can do all of this myself. Tom?
Oh, people have thought this about so many different things in life. You know, if you need to, I don't know, get a job, for example, should you have any assistance? Should you research about it before and try to learn or get any extra help? Or, you know, should you get a tutor, for example, or for those of you students doing A levels, do you think you could study for those A levels just as well by yourself, or do you think the help you get from your teachers and your peers is worth it? And I think the answer is different for everyone, and that's why the service that we provide is such a diverse service. We don't just cover one aspect of this process, but we help along every single part. So I do believe from the bottom of my heart that we have something incredibly valuable and essential to offer every single one of you. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this, and we wouldn't be in this position that we are in today, over 10 years strong as an organization, helping thousands and thousands of students. So in short, what I would say is give us a call. Our calls are absolutely free. There is no obligation to get started with us. It is just there for you to get free advice. You have absolutely nothing to lose. So call us and we will be able to talk you through exactly why our organization is essential for you when it comes to applying abroad.
Thank you so much, Tom. Just to add to this also, we know that a lot of students who come to us will and then have a conversation and then be inspired to try and do everything themselves. There's a lot of work that goes into it. And sometimes, you know, it's almost as you want to save and cut costs. Now, sometimes the cost might be the time. You make a simple mistake on an application, the universities won't give you feedback on this. So you have to consider all of these things. And, you know, sometimes we can discuss possible options that might help you in terms of bringing the cost down for you. But there are so many variables. Having a phone conversation would really help. And that's all where it starts. All right. There has been so many questions and we would love to answer all of them. But of course, we would be here all night. Now, one thing I will say before we close off this is if you want to download the presentation slides, make sure you scan. The recordings will also be uploaded onto our YouTube channel, so you can watch anyone that's missed this as well. And make sure you scan the QR code, or you can also click the link, which will be sent to you guys as well. So we have come to the end of our webinar. I've had so much fun listening to everyone, the students, the partners. We want to thank every single one of you guys for joining us and being with us tonight. And for you, the students who are watching and the parents, thank you for even considering Medlink Students as your partner in this exciting journey towards studying medicine and dentistry abroad. Now, I understand that for some of you, or many of you, this time you may be still filled with questions, plans, and decision about your future, or whether you're still exploring your options or feeling uncertain about taking that first step. Remember that we're here to help you, right? Our team are here to help you. We've helped thousands of students just like you navigate through this process. And we'll be more than happy to guide you as well. All right. Now, sometimes the hardest part is simply just reaching out and then starting a conversation. Now, I encourage you to take that step. Have that chat with one of our advisors. We're available during the evenings, also the weekends. We're also available to answer your questions. Some students will even send a question at midnight, and they're surprised when they get a response. And we want to explore your options and make sure that you're making the best decision for your future. Remember, though, the time is moving fast, and the winter intake is just around the corner. Yeah. This is just a great opportunity for you to secure your place before the deadlines approach. And as Tom mentioned, don't wait till the deadlines, because the deadlines are there, but there's also the number of seats as well. So if you're still trying to figure things out, it's never too late to start exploring the options now. And every step you take will bring you closer to your goal. Now, whenever we have webinars, we do get a big influx of students and we get fully booked. Don't worry, you don't have to wait till next week. If you find that we're too busy, just message us on WhatsApp and we'll be able to still accommodate you. Don't worry at all. Don't hesitate. And let's plan to make this journey together, you know, with you every step of the way. to make sure we can have the first conversation until you graduate as a doctor or a dentist. So thank you once again for being with us today. We look forward to helping you take the next step towards your future. And thank you to our students for inspiring everybody here tonight. Thank you to our partners for continuously making the universities great quality of education for our students also to attend. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you.